Between me and my friends, we don't talk a lot about this certain issue, and we don't really hear anyone else talk about it a lot.
It's a difficult subject to talk about. It's a difficult subject to listen to sometimes.
The reality, this is what happens. This is what's happening in our world today, and it's starting younger and younger.
Persons as young as 8 years of age have feelings about suicidal tendencies.
Not a lot of us that really understand the state and understand those statistics, because I think if we did, we would all be doing more.
And it's hard for students to find their voice when a lot of places in the world tell you not to express yourself.
This is real, it exists. I think it's important to be aware of that. The more you're aware of something, the more power you have to change it and prevent it from happening.
If we don't talk about it, doesn't mean it goes away.
The workshop sort of raises awareness around signs of depression, suicidal thoughts, and I thought that it would be good for us to raise that awareness and think about next steps that we can each take in identifying opportunities to engage with our staff.
The men and women who we work with are still in federal custody, and they're placed in our community reentry centers. And every training I've been to over 9 years, and the training I witnessed given to our residents, it was incredibly open and easy for people to be heard and to speak.
I learned from the workshop that if you just listen and not give your opinion on what to do, instead of telling them to do something, have them figure it out for themselves, but guide them. I see my friends, they're going through a rough time, and it's tough on them, and it's really hard for them to just go through life with these things going on. I'm just happy I can make it easier for them.
I've also encouraged most of my colleagues to take the workshop because it really has changed the way that I look at students. But it also gives them a sense of the immediacy of students that are at risk. Because if you're not addressing them and you're just letting the student exist, carrying that burden, it probably won't get better and it probably won't be intervened.
It was powerful. It was a great deal of information, and a lot of it wasn't very easy to hear.
I didn't know the Samaritans before the workshop.
Yeah, it was the first time I heard of Samaritans. Suicide and depression, it's more of a buildup that people think about suicide when they have a lot of things bottled up inside them and they just can't handle those things anymore.
Teaching us how to prevent the suicide. When something happened to you, you gotta speak or talk to someone.
I learned a lot, especially how important it was to be an active listener and not always be quick to give an opinion.
So about a month after the workshop, one of my friends took his life. He was in another state, and I found out about it, and I couldn't help but wonder whether others who had been in a workshop, would they have seen this in this individual, and could something have been done earlier on in the process? And that hit home to me.
A dear friend of mine had a relative who was experiencing suicidal thoughts. My friend did call me, and I encouraged the person to listen and pay attention if there are things that may seem out of character for an individual, or if they are sharing some things that may seem pretty alarming. But it's very important just to listen.
I'm not a suicide survivor. I have not experienced it in my personal or professional life. But I know that the people around me have, and I know I'm responsible for ensuring that they have an environment where they can get help or speak about their their needs, and these trainings help me create that environment. I would be thrilled if we could keep the Samaritans coming back into our programs, working with our residents.
I think that everyone should participate in a workshop like this.
I think most students should get that workshop because not everyone know about that number, like to call when they have problem or like when they feel like they don't want to live anymore because they are going through a lot of problem in their life.
I'm the type of person who emotionally, I don't talk to anyone about stress or things I'm going through, and so then it piles up, and then, you know, you're gonna eventually implode. So that happened, and I needed to, well, I needed someone to talk to and someone to vent to, and this girl named Sophia I got a chat to through the Samaritans, through text, and she helped me sort of get all of my emotions out.
That kind of stuff shouldn't be considered stigmatizing. It should be helped. It should be assisted. It shouldn't be said, oh no, snap out of it. It's not a big deal. It is a big deal. And I've heard people keep saying that over and over, that it is a big deal, and I completely agree.
I think we all get kind of, especially in our day-to-day jobs, we get kind of bogged down in the mundane tasks, but it's important to take a step back, and I think Samaritans allowed me to take a step back and realize the big picture and what's important in life, and what better way to do that than by helping others.
I personally think Samaritans are so useful is because they're there for kids like me who don't really want to talk to family members or friends. They're there for you, and that's sometimes really all you need.
And that's what we need, Samaritan.